Camera somewhat. There you go. Good morning. Hello from yeah, it's 11 a.m. here on the west coast of a rainy California. Bear with me a second. I just need to adjust the light a little. It's one of those days. Interesting. There's a blue line going right through Darth Vader. Anyway, I hope you're okay. I hope you're all well. I hope everybody's good and happy. I am here. Sorry I didn't do the streaming show yesterday. Um, I fell asleep. Um, as you know, I am working out a lot, and there's still the side effects from all the various different pills I take, and it messes with my sleep patterns. And about noon yesterday, I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll get an hour nap in," and I fell asleep, and I woke up, and it was like, "Oh, almost 3 o'clock." I was like, "Shit." So anyway, I am here. Thank you all for, as always, your messages and for your views and all that fun stuff. Um, what are we going to talk about this week? Well, what I'm going to talk about is the GTA Trilogy remaster. Looks very, very exciting. Going to talk about Dune, which dropped on HBO Max and in the movies on Thursday. The new Apple series Invasion, which also dropped on Thursday night. They dropped the first 3 episodes, so binged that last night. I'm also going to talk a little bit more about the New World, or New World rather. I always get that wrong, which is the Amazon MMO, which started off weekly, in a weak state, crashed GPUs, lots of other things. Picked up, got to I think a million or so people started playing it. And then it's hit a wall. It's got some issues, and I am not adverse to sharing these issues with you. You're gonna have to be careful. Bear with me for a minute, though. It's just, well, nobody's fucking watching anyway, because I can tell from the view count. So you are gonna have to bear with me for a second while I do. And again, I'm running a bit late because just things bobbling around. The good lady wife out this morning. She has to go and do something for one of her clients as a consultant. So yeah, I just saw, like, she just left. I'm just getting my crap together. We cook breakfast, all that fun stuff. So I'm going to do some housekeeping while I talk to you, you wonderful, wonderful people. And so you're going to have to, like I said, have to bear with me. While I do some yeah. There you go. I'm just going to do the tweet. I mean, literally, I've been running around like a blue ass fly all morning. So apologies for, like I said, apologies in general. Today's drinks are brought to you by La Croix, which is growing on me. This is the limoncello naturally essenced. So it's a little bit of sweet mixed with the usual mug of Earl Grey in the Time Lord mug. Rude and not ginger. Who knows? Will the next Doctor Who be ginger? We should talk about that as well, because guess what? It's back a week tomorrow. And then there's a new sparkling water in the house. This one. I'm not even going to figure out how to spell that one, because that's my life now. Drinking various sparkling or mineral waters, slightly flavored water if I want to change up, and lots of tea. Coffee is a treat, as you've probably seen. So anyway, yes, here I am. Let's talk about New World. So I talked about it last week, and I said I was really enjoying it, and I still am. Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't, and I can see why, because we're X amount of months in now to the game, and they've got a really interesting economy system that is, let's just say, they don't really give much by way of coin for a lot of things that you do. Some of the quests give you up to like 700 coin, especially on the lower levels, but they don't give you a lot of gold. So it's difficult to get enough money to really go off and want to feel that you can invest in something in the marketplace. I mean, I've been playing for 2 weeks now. I've got level 21. And I'm finding that I am hoarding my money. All I'm doing is the only thing I'm doing is I'm grinding a lot of the crafting things. I am resourcing trees, jewels, metal, cloth, leather, and upgrading my various crafty things, and then trying to make stuff myself. And if I'm lucky to get a good drop, which is very, very rare. I mean, I have been on the same sort of like armor and weaponry for about 10 days now. Yeah, I'm going to have to build it. I'm going to have to make it myself because the prices in the marketplace the last time I checked were not really healthy, and I didn't really want to, spend a lot of my money and run out. The other thing is they've got this taxation system that I think they thought was a great idea and probably could work and may end up balancing itself out in the long term, but it's quite tricky with the taxation system. It's any game that starts off with a heavy multiplayer component, or an MMO in this case, is always going to take time to find its feet. Unfortunately, the way they've got taxes and they've got low money drops, and they do have lots and lots of resources, which makes selling those resources moot because there's so many of them around. And it's just a bit of a mess. And I've noticed the last couple of nights I've logged in, and I'm playing on an East Coast server. So I've logged in some afternoons when it should be heading up to peak time on the East Coast, and the places have been deserted. And that's not good. I don't know what the login level has been recently with New World, but it does seem like the player numbers are going down on the server that I'm on. And they do, in fairness, they do have a lot of servers. They're opening up server transfers. I think they have a max of like 2,000 per server. But I'm not seeing that many people in the villages. And especially if you're in a sort of like, newbie to 25 village, which I'm in because I'm only like level 21. And let's face it, going beyond, hitting one of the higher villages is just, you can go in, you can wander around, but getting there will probably get you killed. The game has flaws that need to be addressed, and they are quite serious. And the first one is the economy. The game is already riddled with bot sellers and gold farmers. There are a lot of people, every day that I'm on, I have to turn off the global chat because I will see 30 or 40 gold sellers running around, and I don't like that. And so I end up going to the local area, and then it becomes quiet as a tomb because there's hardly anybody around for a game that is supposed to be heavily populated. As an MMO, it's not. Now, I don't know if their servers cannot hold more than 2,000 people, but perhaps their servers need to hold more. They need to have more content. I'm playing through the missions. I'm playing through the missions that you get when you go to a new place, because I've tried, I've run around to different places, and you have to run because obviously you don't get vehicles or horses or anything like that. And fast travel is, with the exception of recalling to your sort of like inn, which is your home base, once every hour or so, it costs resources to fast travel, which again, I'm not really a fan of. And I think what's happened is they've tried to reinvent the wheel a little too much. And it's a shame because the game does look good. The game plays pretty well. Combat as a sort of like action role-playing game really does work well. You can actually run around, dodge attacks, roll back side to side, stay out of range of attacks, and it's great. But the way I find it happening, because it's difficult to sort of like find people who actually want to group up at the lower levels, is if I'm tackling something, I end up tackling it alone, and it takes a lot longer. And even if I'm level 21, I end up taking a fair amount of damage from something that's as innocuous as a 14 or 15. And like I said, I can't really afford to buy higher level weapons and armor, so I'm trying to make them. And it becomes a sort of like vicious cycle where the game has devolved from I'm grinding my resources because it's fun, to I'm grinding because I have to, and I can't really go off and find anything, and I can't really explore more of the lore, even though there's lots of things dotted around. They seem to have taken a conscious effort to step away from the more traditional World of Warcraft aspect where it's heavily populated with NPCs who you can interact with and you get to know the stories. And there's, gold. It's really easy to crank up the copper and then the silver and then, the gold on World of Warcraft and level up quite quickly. Whereas this one is, I don't know, it's just not helping itself. And especially for a game, I don't know, for a game that is reliant really on the retail sales, which, they've had quite a few. They're not charging a subscription. So they are going to make their money and are making their money beyond the box sales or the retail sales. They're going to be reliant on the costumes that they sell, the cosmetics that they sell. And after that, the expanded content, the new missions, the next island over that makes the play area a lot bigger, selling mounts if they come into it, and various other things like that. And the problem is, I think by the time they're going to get to that, not many people are going to be playing this game. And that's sad. That's a real shame because we know how much time, money, and resources Amazon have put into making this game their big, this is our big success, this is it, or go home. And I'm wondering how much money they're going to pump into it. And I feel for the dev team. If you are playing, let me know. If you're in any of the chat rooms, whether it be the Twitch or the YouTube, or even just say hi. I can see apparently 5 of you are watching. I hope it's, hope there's a couple of regulars in there, but I know, different time zones and everything. So yes, my advice to these, to the people at Amazon is you don't try to reinvent the wheel right off the bat. The key, in my opinion, to a great game, especially one like this, where you're going to be reliant on bringing people back to log in every single day, is you got to make it aspirational. You've got to make it feel like they're coming out of their play session having achieved something. And when you go in for an hour or 2 hours at a time, and the only thing I've really leveled up is my wood chopping skills or my fishing skills or whatever, that doesn't really cut it for a full price game. Again, I know there's no subscriptions fee, and I applaud Amazon for that, even though they've got more money than God, they can friggin' afford it. I mean, they are obviously the richest games company in the world because they're part of the richest company in the world. But they've got to give more to suck people in. You give people more at the lower levels, help them get through, get some fancy armor and that level of achievement, and get them more attached to their characters from day one. Give them more customization options. For some reason, my character still looks like a kind of like a lobster, because I created the character, supposed to have sort of like, palish skin. Unfortunately, looks like a shade of red, like my character is constipated and is trying to get one out, which sucks, which just isn't what I set the character up to do. So yeah, drop more money. That's always a good way to get things going. Do away with this taxes thing. That's the other thing. The various taxes for crafting and for selling and for buying and all that. That taxes stuff, it's meant to go to the town so the town can start upgrading stuff, and then different towns which are controlled by different factions are reliant on people to do faction missions and town missions to drop off more wood or whatever and kick back into the coffers. And that is an ideal societal role that we all want. I mean, we all want to do our bit, have our piece of the pie, pay our bit. The more you make, the more you pay. That's the way it should work. But in a game environment, it's not that fun. And then you throw in the whole continued faction battles. And I'm in a PvE server. So, I don't really, I don't PvP in general anyway. So let's face it, I get twatted into the middle of next week. And it just makes it more difficult because people like me, I'm trying to do my missions. And yes, all right, I'm going to do a bunch of, get a bunch of skins and turn them into leather and drop them off on occasion on the for the town board missions to try and upgrade something like the tannery so I can get to a different level and I can start making new things. But it's just not working people are not playing long enough. I mean, I log out of the server one night in a town where my home base is, where my inn is, if you will, and I'm within my faction, the I think it's the Syndicate, the purple sneaky people. And then I log in the next day, and there's been a battle overnight, and boom, it's gone. As in, it's now somebody else's, and it's a different level of taxes, and half the things have been reset because people have conquered it and moved on, and it just isn't fun. There needs to be some sort of level of consistency. If you want to introduce this as a gaming mechanic, let's say you do it at the later levels. So when people get to 50 or 60, they can actually move into these 50 or 60 environments, as opposed to, just any old environment, where they can take more control of the areas, and don't make the areas as large. I mean, they are pretty all-encompassing with regards to how the how the borders are for each of these areas. Start people off. I mean, I know there's no class system. There's no class system in the game, which is a refreshing change in a lot of ways, because you can play whatever you want. I mean, my character has a big two-handed axe and for up close damage, and then a really cool fire staff for long range stuff. And that means I can just basically put every time I level up, I get 3 points to put in, and they go into Constitution, which is health, intelligence for the magic, and strength for hefting. And that's great. I'm happy to do that. That's wonderful. The problem is that so many people at the newer levels aren't really interested in the governance. To get to that level, you have to really invest in the game and then become part of a company or become part of a clan or whatever. And offering it at level 60 as something that people can carry on doing is more of an incentive in my eyes than anybody under 60 who has to try and work their asses off just to get to that level and the level of flux and uncertainty. So I do appreciate what they're doing, but I think they have let themselves down in the execution. They've been too ambitious, because at the end of the day, we're talking about a video game. We're talking about an MMO that's quite sort of like involved on the time, with regards to how much time you pay it. And I think they really should look at that. And it would also sort out the issue they have, is that people get to 60 and there's no real end game content. There's no real reward for level 60 and above. Obviously, I haven't gotten that far. I'm just basing this on what people have said. So my advice to Amazon is hire me as a consultant. No, is just don't reinvent the wheel. Have a look at it. Tweak some stuff. Also, the seasonal content. I mean, Halloween and Thanksgiving and fall and all that sort of stuff has just, they're just cycling through. And the only time I'm seeing stuff is stuff they're selling in the Amazon store. So it's like, if you want any sort of atmosphere, you can go and get your limited edition skins. And they're treating it more like Fortnite on that thing. And I really don't appreciate it. Thank you, McWomble. Thank you, McWomble. And good to see you. And Matthew Thomas, thank you for joining. It's good to see everybody. I see the number counts going up. So yeah, I still, like I said, I'm still logging in. I want the game to do well. I've got just enough time in my life to invest in another MMO, and this one's got potential. Needs to get bigger in a lot of ways. Needs to have more end game and fix the damn economy. Back B, nice to see you. So yes, if you have played New World, let me know. Sound off in the comments and we can have discussions. Like I said, good morning. All right, next up, let's talk about Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy. GTA, I think it's GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. Remastered, $60, dropping next month. I think it's like 50 quid or whatever, or 60 euros. It's dropping next month. I think first on digital for 2 weeks, and then the retail box copies are a couple of weeks after that, which is very, very strange. But they want to get the digital money in first, because that's where they make the most money. Understandable. So yeah, I've seen it. Now, Rockstar have been very, very quiet about this, and I have a lot of faith in Rockstar, which they have earned over the years. I mean, they have consistently produced quality stuff. And I'm looking at this, and especially coming off the Mass Effect remaster, which was also $60. So, you know, they're much of a muchness, even though the GTA games are a little bit older. They've remastered, re-upped, however you want to say it, given it a makeover. And it's the cartoony look that's kind of throwing me. Because if you were playing a game like Grand Theft Auto, the last thing you want is the cartoony stuff. You don't really want it to have that sort of like more silly look to it. And the way they've snuck this out, and they've not really done much press about it. The announcement trailer only dropped last week. I am a little bit concerned. I mean, normally this would be a day one purchase for me because, I mean, we're talking about 3 great games. Playing Vice City again on my PC with everything turned up would normally be an absolute no-brainer. But I've also read that the system specs, the low-end system specs on PC are very low. The mid and high range are also alarmingly low. So it's not like they've really gone overboard on this. And it's not something they've done in-house, which, you know, not every team has the resource to do. So again, I'm a little bit concerned about this. And so much so, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to pre-order it. I'm hoping that it's going to be good. But what do you think? Let me know. Let's have a chat. I just saw some videos of mods comparing it to the trailer. Yeah, the mods are better looking. GTA 5, GTA Online is better looking. I mean, one would have hoped that it would have been the GTA 5 engine at the very least. I mean, you know, especially with the PS5 and the Xbox, you know, the new current generations, what they can handle, you'd expect them to look a lot better than they did. And I don't know why they don't. And I'm concerned, put it that way. Plus the 3-week, you know, intro time between an official announcement, trailer, and launch means that there's no room for wiggle. They will have taken those trailers from a Gold Master build in that it's finished, it's done, it's at Microsoft getting it and Sony getting approved. It's probably queued up, ready to go on Steam. The fact that nobody has seen it for a preview. And everybody, you know, some people will say, oh, well, what's the point in previewing it? It's 3 games that have been remastered. But what I'm going to say is that if you're asking for $60, that's a full price product. And a full price product should be treated the same way. You should let people have a look, have a play, let the media have a fiddle around with it. And I'm not talking about dropping it into a bunch of influencers things on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever. I am talking about getting in the hands of the journalists, especially people who played the original, and let them do some comparison videos. And the fact that Rockstar haven't done that, no matter how notoriously secretive and everything, is just a bit concerning. And Matthew Thomas actually nails it right here. The remastered trilogy feels like easy money member berries. If you watch South Park, you will know what a member berry is. GTA 4 is a game that badly needs remastering. Well, look, I'm always happy with the remasters. I mean, we have 3 remasters next month. We have the GTA trilogy. We have the Skyrim 10th anniversary re-release. I'm not sure if that's a remaster or not. And then we have KOTOR has been remastered, Knights of the Old Republic. And that's dropping next month. And the one I will definitely buy is KOTOR. Because I love the original, and seeing that all super spammed up and looking gorgeous is going to be exciting, because that does seem to be like a true remaster upgrade, bells and whistles, etc., which is what I want, which a lot of people actually want. So yeah, what do you think? How do you feel? As I have a cup of tea and say hi to sub level 28. Annalie, I'm surprised you're here. You've had a long work weekend. I saw your post on the Discord about how you're working all the strange hours. So yeah, I hope you're okay and not tiring yourself out too much. But it's lovely to see you. Oh, so yeah, let me know. What do you think? What are you looking forward to? Are you looking forward to GTA more or KOTOR? Are you looking forward to the Elder Scrolls Skyrim 10th anniversary version? I mean, let's face it, there's been 30,000 different iterations of Skyrim every 2 years since it's been relaunched. We've had the Game of the Year edition, we've had the Super Game of the Year edition, we've had the Super Duper Duper Game of the Year edition, where all the expansion stuff has come in, and we've had the HD skins that were dropped in and made the game look even sexier than before. And it's been on sale on Steam and then on every other area. It's dropped up and down. It's on Xbox Games service, obviously, after the acquisition. I don't think we need another Skyrim, to be honest with you, another version of Skyrim. But hey, it's Microsoft. They need the money, apparently. So yeah, let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are as we are plowing through at a great clip today. And as always, if you've got a topic you want to pop up, I know some people are probably going to ask about Starfield, about the trailer that dropped. I haven't had a chance to watch it because my week, as you know, has been quite busy. And I will pause for a second before returning to the games discussion and just share with everybody, if you haven't seen on Twitter or in the AG Discord that is for the Patreon subscribers. I've had a good week health-wise. Working out 3 times a week. My diet's totally changed. Doing a lot of strength stuff, which is good. Boobs are getting a little perkier, which I can't really argue with. But I've had positive test results. PSA, the prostate-specific antigen. That's the cancer-producing antigen. When I was diagnosed, I was at over 500. Now, for a regular guy of my age with maybe a chance of cancer at some point, 2 or 3 is acceptable. And I was at 505, which is like, okay, it's churning out, has been for a while, which is why it's in the bones and it's the lesions in the stomach and so on and so forth. So they've dropped a few times in some of the tests that we've done. They almost halved in the first test, dropped to 30 in the second, and now they're down to 1.8, which is well within the parameters. I mean, it's not ideal. Zeros are at the best, but it shows the medication is working and it's buying me more time. I have gone from being told I had at best 6 to 9 months to live, which was obviously back in August when, I was a little bit emotional, a little bit terrified, a little bit hooly-hoo, understandably, to going to maybe 2 years. And from the 2 years, now we could be looking at as many as 5 years. Quality. It all depends on how the cancer reacts or stays, if it stays being kicked back by the regime I'm on, the regimen, which is why the next step for me now is radiation therapy. So at some point in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to see a radiation specialist, and then I'm going to go to have focused radiation treatment 5 days a week for 5 weeks, which means they're going to point some sort of radiation thing at my lower abdomen and my groin, and they're going to zap me for about 15 minutes a pop, which I'm not looking forward to. It's kind of terrifying, but the idea is that the cancer right now is being knocked from pillar to post by my meds. This is something to give them more of a kick, stop them replicating even more. And I suppose remission could be the technical term, because there's no way they're going to go away. At some point, they're going to figure out a way to go, ha, we have beaten you. We have beaten your medication and treatment because we are Borg. And then we go to another thing. But hopefully by that time, they will have invented something else that allows me to keep on going and fighting and fighting. That's the goal. Get me to the next big breakthrough. And as I've said before, the pills I'm on right now, the chemo pills I'm on, were only approved and came onto market 2019, 2020. So that's how, fast things are changing. So on the whole, it's really, really good. Like I said, I'm going to have nuclear balls for a while, but it's not going to lead to any hair loss. Well, not up here anyway. I don't know what's going to happen. and apparently it's painless. There's a couple of side effects, but again, it's all good. And I want to thank you, everybody, with regards to your continued support and your continued messages of, of support and sharing your own stories. Because I know so many people are having loved ones or people themselves are having these same battles, or whether it's, prostate cancer, stomach cancer, breast cancer. And, I'm lucky with regards to it got caught. It was still in a bad place, very bad place, and it's going to kill me. But I got caught at just in time, just before the fat lady was singing. She was gargling and warming up, and I got the great treatment and this great set of pills and a great oncologist who's really sort of like helped kick things into shape. So it's been good. This is good. Cheers. So let's go back to the game. Sorry, I wanted to get that out because I know we have the room numbers had gone up, and I just wanted to share and let everybody know, because everybody's been so cool to me. Let's see. Go back to the chat room for a second. Matthew Thomas. There's remasters and there's Blue Point style remakes. The latter are usually better since they go back and polish everything up. Yeah. That's the thing. The remasters, which I think the GTA is, they said the PC version has more access to stuff in the Rockstar Social Club app, which will be interesting. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm sure it's going to have its claws into GTA 5 online as well. I'm just hoping for more. We'll see what happens in a couple of weeks. Let's see. Yeah, Joseph Jones, thank you for joining. There you go. GTA Trilogy is, Grove Street Games, a small team. And yeah, I saw that they'd done a lot of things. A lot of ports for Rockstar. They obviously worked for Rockstar, and Rockstar have faith in them, so that's good. Rockstar very rarely put out shit product. Good to see you off the decaf today. I'm on the old Earl Grey today. I've gone back onto half calf. I do like the half calf. Let's see. Okay. The options, and go back to that. And so, all right, I'll talk about Dune at the end of the show, because there's going to be some spoilers, and not a lot of people will have seen it yet because it obviously dropped. I mean, that is the beauty, as I've said before, of HBO Max. Our TV did spanner. It died. Our TV's 10 years old. We got it to celebrate moving into this house just over 10 years ago. And about 10 days ago, we looked at it and we're like, sweetheart, why is there a black section on the bottom of the TV? I'm like, what? And we looked at it, and yeah, basically it's almost as if the lights had been turned out in one little bottom section of the TV, and it was all very dim and dimly lit. So we decided that we were going to go invest in a new TV, something that's going to last us the next 10 years, which will probably outlast me. I think that's the wise plan. Get the TV, take advantage of the interest-free credit, pay it off over a couple of years, and then just as we finish paying it off, I shuffle, and she's got this gorgeous TV to watch whatever she wants without me dominating the remote for the next several years. But yeah, we got a nice TV. We upgraded from a 65-inch to a 75-inch, 4K. It's not OLED. Those are just way out our price range. So yes, it's Dolby and everything, and so I'm getting the reason I'm talking about my new TV. Very excited about it. Wife got a new dishwasher too, because the dishwasher came with the house 10 years ago, and that crapped out too. But this was my toy, and I love this TV. And I've watched the footy on it, and I've watched movies on it, and I watched Dune on it, and but I'll come to that in a minute because I want to talk about Invasion on Apple TV. And I got to say, kudos to Apple TV. They obviously, Ted Lasso is something that became part of the zeitgeist, hit at the right time, is then their super breakout hit. We've been watching The Morning Show, which is an interesting show, a little bit tough to watch, eye-rolly at times, but it does have a family friend who appears in it regularly. Her name is Tara Kassian. And she's a character actress here in LA, who I've known for like 15 years. Shauna is no longer, family friend, wonderful, wonderful woman. So we watched that, and it's kind of, We started watching Foundation, which I thought would be good training for Dune. And Foundation, to be honest with you, I mean, when whether you're working off Frank Herbert or Isaac Asimov or whatever, I mean, some of that stuff is a little bit heavy, and Foundation really tries to be Game of Thrones in outer space, and it's just a little too long in the tooth for me. Don't have the patience, not much action in it. But let's talk about Invasion. 3 episodes dropped on Thursday. We watched them back to back to back to back. Sam Neill is in it. He's sort of like he's sort of like the big star in it. And it's about an invasion, and it talks about, it shows it happening in New York, happening in, I think, Ohio, Japan, in the Middle East, and how it happens to different people and how they have different effects by these things slowly starting to happen. I think we've barely seen an alien 3 hours in. But I got to say, some gripping TV. It's a really good TV show. So if you have Apple TV, I'm going to say watch this one. Watch those first 3 episodes, because we finished watching them last night and we were like, shit, they should have dropped the entire season, because I want to keep on watching it. We'd have been watching it till probably about 10 minutes ago. That's how good it was. It had that sort of like first season of Lost kind of thing. V, when that first came out, if you remember the old 1980s version, not the sort of like crappy remake. So yes, I'd say watch that. It looks great as well. And obviously, like I said, big TV, surround sound, or rumbly, Apple TV, Dolby Vision. Love it. I'll get to Dune in a minute. Let's see. Backbeat, have I had a chance to check out the Baldur's Gate 3 patch? No, I haven't. I honestly haven't checked it out. I've never been a Baldur's Gate kind of guy. I've tried it a few times, and it's just never been my cup of tea. It's interesting, isn't it? How things like that you'd think would be way up my alleyway, but they're not. I don't know why. Sublevel 28 is getting HBO Max on Tuesday. Congratulations! I tell you, after Netflix, HBO Max is probably my number one streaming service. With regards to how much we use it in the house, because of everything they've got. And I know content varies from place to place, but obviously the new movies that have dropped, they've got all the DC stuff. They've got Studio Ghibli. Sorry, not Ghibli. They have got Turner Classic Movies. They have a bunch of stuff cycling in and out. They also have Doctor Who. Randomly enough, they have a lot of old BBC stuff. And yeah, it's great. I mean, it has its issues. It's not perfect. The UI needs a little bit of a kick in the ass, but they keep on dropping some classic stuff that it's always good to catch up on. And in fact, from that, let's talk about Doctor Who. Doctor Who is back a week tomorrow, and it's going to air at the same time everywhere. So when it airs at 8 o'clock in the night in the UK, it's going to be airing at 11 o'clock, I think, here in the US. And it's a 6-part mini-series event, apparently. This is based on what I saw Jodie Whittaker say on the Graham Norton show, actually, last night. And this was like last week's episode. We get them a week behind. And it's basically one story, one overarching bad. And my understanding is that we might be getting the regeneration at the Christmas episode this year. Which means bye-bye to Jodie, who, like I said, is a very fine actress, and I think she's been crippled with regards to what she's been able to do with the character, given that Chris Chibnall has not been the best writer. And then Russell T. Davies is coming back, and I'm kind of half excited, half terrified about that. But yes, so as of next week, I'll be talking about Doctor Who, and I'll also be talking about it on the Lonely TARDIS podcast. So wherever you get your podcasts, look up the Lonely TARDIS. If you like Doctor Who, it's myself and Sean Norton and Dali Dmowski, 2 very good friends of mine. We've been doing this for 6-7 years now. There's a lot of me swearing on it. There's a lot of me cussing out the writers from time to time. And giving compliments where it's due. So that'll be back, I think, a week on Monday. We'll record after the show. And I'm going into this season of Doctor Who with no expectations. After the last season and The Timeless Child, I just can't even. I love the series. I love the character. I just can't with this Timeless Child bullshit. And I don't want to be one of those neckbeards who gatekeep, but come on, really. Anyway, Yeah. With regards to, sorry, King Ding 3, King Ding 2, you say same bat time, same bat channel. You're talking about, yeah. And again, this is something I'm gonna ask you guys, because King Ding comes up with a where, with regards to the timing of the show, and obviously I'm more in flux now, especially things are about to get more complicated with the radiation therapy, working out 3 times a week, oncologist. I've got to go to a GI doctor as well, because for some reason I have this belly is still not quite responding to treatment. And this other side effects. I've developed eczema. I mean, Jesus, I mean, I really rolled the whole medical, shitty medical stuff dice, and I came up with 666. So yes, would you prefer that I do this? Would you prefer that I do this on the weekend moving forward? And if so, it's Saturday or Sunday. And what time works for you? I mean, would it Saturday around this time? Because I know a lot of people are watching from Europe, because you are amazing people. So let me know. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the Discord. Let me know on the Twitter. We'll see how it goes. Backby. Yes. From your lips to the gods of Doctor Who writings ears. Let's have one good season. Solid good season. I'd recommend a solid season. I'd take a solid season over some of the guff we've had so far. So yes, Doctor Who coming back. Wow, wickety woo. So yes, let me know your thoughts. All right, so we've had a couple of thoughts for Saturday morning, and I mean, providing Liverpool aren't playing right now, Man City are playing, and they were, last time I looked, they were twatting. Brighton 3-0. Liverpool are playing tomorrow, so yeah, I mean, it may be just dependent on the footy, because I like to watch my Liverpool games live when I can. I cannot get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I will. Maybe I'll just do alternate Saturdays and Sundays and figure it around the football as it goes. So there you go, Jonas. Okay, well, Newcastle played this morning, and they had a good draw against Crystal Palace. They could have won it. I did watch that this morning, and I was quite impressed. And I'd have to say, why didn't they play that under Stevie Bruce? Is Bruce that bad a manager? So yes, I thought Newcastle played pretty well, because Crystal Palace they're looking good this season as well. Liverpool beat them 3-0 a couple of weeks ago, and as our manager said, it was the hardest 3-0 you'll ever see in your life, because Palace were really good. When they get settled, they're going to be a force, I think. So, okay, 11:43, 11:44. Let's go. Okay, Saturday morning. I think I am. Okay, I'm going. Well, Backby, you first of all, you take care of yourself first and foremost. So yes, I think I'll be doing this. I'll move this to Saturdays or Sundays, depending on where I am medical wise. I have more energy in the morning. I don't go to the gym on the weekends. I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So, all right. Weekends it is. So just keep an eye out on the Twitter or in the Discord group, and we'll figure it out. I will check the fixture list. Tomorrow, it's the big one. It's one of the big ones. It's Liverpool Man United at Old Trafford. And it's going to be a tough game. Everybody's like, oh, Liverpool should twat Man United. It's not. It's going to be a tough one. I would love Liverpool to go there and roll them over 3 or 4-0, considering we've been playing scoring 3 goals away from home almost every game this season. But Manchester United can blow hot or cold. And when they blow hot, they are a good team. All right, Rennie B in the house. Hello, my dear. How are you? Let's talk. Let's talk about Dune, because I've got 15 or so minutes left. Now, if you haven't seen Dune, there's not really much by way of spoilers, to be honest with you, because let's face it, it's a remake. The book is out there. A lot of you will probably have read the book or the books. There was the 80s version with Carl McLachlan and Sting, and that incredible human blimp of Harkonnen, and a really sort of like amazing 1980s cast with psychedelic special effects that I only watched for the first time not so long ago because Shauna insisted we watch it because it's one of her favorite movies. God knows why. She loves the books as well. And so that version, if you're familiar with it, that's the entirety, I think, of the first book, slightly jiggered around. This one, especially, didn't go to the cinema, watched it on the new TV with the surround sound. And oh my God, I mean, Denis Villeneuve, he's got a track record. The Martian, Blade Runner 2070, 96, whatever the hell it was. Stunning movies. I mean, this is right up his proverbial alley. It's his milieu to make visually arresting movies. And this one is visually amazing. I mean, the worm, the characters, the set designs, the ships, everything about it is fantastic, and the cast is superb. I mean, Timothée Chalamet, Oscar Isaac, the Skarsgård guy from Thor. I mean, look, they have Jason Momoa it's an amazing cast. The problem is the film is long, and the film ends on a cliffhanger, and we don't know if we're going to get a Dune 2 because they didn't film the whole thing in its entirety, then cut it in half and say, oh, it'll be out again. So, part 2 will be out again next year, as they've done with so many other films. I don't know why. I don't know whether it was a pandemic, but it's slow, especially the first half of the film. Does pick up towards the middle section. It is absolutely gorgeous. There's not, like I said, there's not much way I can spoil it. I mean, it's very, very, very pretty. It's beautiful. But there's not much to it. I mean, there are certain sections where it is just, I looked at the wife and I said, we've got friends coming over tomorrow night to watch it with us again, because they haven't seen it yet and they don't have HBO Max and we do. And I'm like, do I really have to sit through this again tomorrow on Sunday? And I don't know if I'm going to. I mean, I may skip the first half hour, to be honest with you. Or first hour. We'll come back here and play New World or something, because it like I said, it picks up, but it's just so terminally slow in places. And the fact that they haven't filmed the second half and the cast have gone off to do their different things, and we'd be looking at 2023 at the earliest before we get this Dune Part 2, it just doesn't make much sense to me, and it's kind of disappointing because things are getting really good, really interesting. And even though I know where the story's going, it cuts off. And it's disappointing. Now, I don't know if that's down to the studio. I don't know if that's down to COVID or how things went. But it's, beautiful, but dull in a lot of places, especially the first hour. But if you like pretty visuals, I mean, it's fucking beautiful. Mark Simpson UK, Oscars for Dune. Looks like it's the best. No, it's not the best film of 21. I have to go back and figure out which films are the best films of 2021. Obviously, but Dune will win for visuals. It will win for costume, special effects, audio, all that. All the technical ones it should sweep because it's beautiful. Not as entertaining as Blade Runner, definitely not as entertaining as The Martian. It seems that Villeneuve has gone from Martian to Blade Runner to this one and slowed the storytelling down. I mean, you could have basically done the mid-80s version of Dune in 3 hours with all these special effects and this gorgeous version, delivered a whole package and set up a fucking franchise like that, in my opinion. But what do I know? I don't make movies. But yeah, it's just too slow. They may have greenlit. The King Ding 2 is saying that they've greenlit 2. They may have greenlit it, but I mean, Zendaya is in demand. Timothée Chalamet is now making the Willy Wonka prequel. There's a lot of actors with very, very full schedules, so I don't know if they'll be able to get them. That's why, when the Harry Potter films were so good, and that they continually filmed them. They had little breaks, but it was back to back to back to back. The It movies filmed the first one, went into the second one pretty quickly. Slightly different cast, but still, whoosh. I think that they might have had a different director. The Hunger Games, they filmed them all the way through as best they could. And then, even the Twilight movies, they did them boom, 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 so they can slap them out. Pig is the best film I've seen, says Matthew Thomas, and King Ding too. All right, I am going to have to watch Pig. Isn't that a Nicolas Cage one where he's looking for his pig? Somebody steals his pig or something. Or all right, I'm gonna have to look at that one. But I honestly can't think of what is the best film of this year for me so far. I mean, we do have Eternals coming up. That might be interesting, given that Chloe Zhao has done that. The wife wants to see the was it the French Dispatch or whatever, the new Wes Anderson movie. Those are the films that are pure knockout drops for me. I try watching them and I'm asleep in a minute. Interesting, by the way, that I'm hearing rumors, or I'm seeing rumors online as you are, that Spider-Man might be delayed till next year because Marvel have now shifted a bunch of their stuff around and put stuff back. And the rumor is that they've been talking to Sony about moving Far From Home into the, I think, February or March slot of next year, which would be very, very interesting. Especially given the amount of movies that are coming out. I mean, Spider-Man would dominate. It'll absolutely dominate. I mean, it'll kick, no offense to Matrix, but it will kick that movie's ass because it's going to, really do well at the box office, and it'll probably be the biggest film of the year. But yeah, that would be interesting if they move that one. All right. Oh, yes. Ghostbusters. I keep on forgetting about Ghostbusters Afterlife. And no, I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. I really love the original. Second one, there were parts of it that were really good, and we're just happy to get that franchise. The remake with Paul Feig, people with interesting last names, had a lot going for it, but because of the way they executed it and tried to make it a reboot, pissed people off from the get-go, and I think that's where they went wrong with it. Had some amazing effects. And this one, I mean, it does seem to be a direct continuation or one that follows on from Ghostbusters 2 with legacy characters and all the references, Venkman and Egon. You got Egon's grandkids, I think they are. Dan Aykroyd picking up the phone at the end. But I've been seeing some middling reviews. Some people have said that it's awful, pure fan service, which is not necessarily a bad thing if you're a fan. Some people have said that it reinvigorates the franchise and can actually turn it into a proper franchise, which would be great because obviously more Ghostbusters in our life would be wonderful. So yeah, let's see how that one goes. I keep on forgetting that it's coming out. So yes, I'm going to have to go and see that one. That's not going to be on HBO Max. I'm going to have to watch that on a big screen. Yes, actually, D Night Walker. That's that is something that should be on every single studio's wall where they approve things. If you're gonna piss, I mean, that's legendary. I love that one. Well done, well done. Let's see. Oh yes, the Uncharted movie is coming. I don't know how I feel about that one. We'll see about Uncharted. Anyway, so, all right. What do I think about the Uncharted movie trailer? I haven't seen it. I will watch it on the big screen in the house to get the, in the living room, to get the full feel for it, and I can talk about it more next week. I am going to, unless you got questions, I'm going to wrap it up because it's now coming up to lunchtime and I got bits and bobs to do and the throat's getting a bit sore. I spent the week in a mask a lot because I've been going around. One of the things I will say, after the oncologist's visit on Wednesday, was it Wednesday? I can't even remember anymore. my darling wife surprised me with tickets to the Academy of Motion Pictures Museum in LA. It's opened a couple of like a month ago, and we got to go and see it because it was in our old neighborhood. And we went, and I got to say, it's pretty damn amazing. I'll have to share some of the pictures I took, the presentations. They had some of the exhibits are temporary, like the Studio Ghibli stuff. They had their Oscars on display and original art. They had a bunch of stuff from Tim Burton. They had costumes. They had the original Edward Scissorhands costume. They had stuff from the Dark Crystal. They had some of the models from Batman Returns, the Tim Burton sequel. They had R2 and 3PO. They had Arnie's original mask from Terminator, you know, where he's standing in the mirror and he's cutting his face and you can tell it's a rubbery animatronic. That mask was there, all fenced away. There's some stuff from Blade Runner. They had an Oscar experience where you actually get to go and pick up a real Oscar and pretend that you've just won it, and they record a video, which I'm not sharing on social media. But that thing is £8. That's a fucking dumbbell. So you win 2 of those and just do that every day for a month. You'll be buff. No wonder Meryl Streep's in such good shape. So yeah, it was just a great experience. So if you ever come to City of Los Angeles and you do like movies, I recommend you get a ticket and come and experience it, because everything is changing out on a regular basis. Not everything. They have set exhibits, but I mean, the special stuff is going to be moving in and out. So yeah, I mean, I'll go back there when they do something. My only sort of like complaint was the gift shop. A lot of it was overpriced. In fact, pause. Well, I was going to show you the one thing we bought at the gift shop, which wasn't overpriced, but the wife's put it away. It's actually a cocktail book ready for the holiday season, because I will be having a few snifters after the year I've had. I'm going to have some holiday drinks. And it's basically all the cocktails from the seminal, various movies over the years. Obviously, they got the Bond one in there. I think they've got something from The Shining. They've got these cocktails that are based around the movies that you've seen drunk. So we're going to make some of those. And that was a good hardcover, good looking book. But there's a Spike Lee exhibit. Now, actually, the Spike Lee exhibit blew my mind, because there was a lot of stuff from his personal collection. So he has one of Prince's guitars, which is like, whoa. He has an original Star Wars poster signed by George Lucas. He has a Taxi Driver poster signed by the entire cast and Scorsese. Jurassic Park signed by Steven Spielberg, and he's donated this, on loan. And there's all these amazing stuff, and there's obviously pictures of his own movies as well, stuff of memorabilia there as well. And that was just absolutely fantastic to see. It just goes to show that to be a really good creative writer director, you have to love and be a fan of the industry that you're working in and the art form. And that's why I think, the best games makers are the ones who are true fans of the medium and really can appreciate all the various different things. So yes, that's it. That's me. I'm done, as we're coming up to 12 o'clock here on the West Coast. I think the footy's done for the day. I'm going to rest my throat, have a refill on my cup of tea. I am going to say thank you as always. If you are on the Patreon, thank you. See you on the Discord. If you have not or been on the fence, you can donate for as little as $3 a month. Get you access to the Discord where people talk and chat. The biggest Discord thing on offer is that. It's a limited edition beer mug. Beer mug. See, I always crack myself up on that. Thank you so much, as always. And again, thank you for bearing with me as things go into flux time-wise. And they will always be in flux until I'm in a much better state of mind, or, physical state, or until I snuff it. And then it'll be a constant, I'm not here. But anyway, take care of yourselves. We'll be back next weekend. And we'll talk more about stuff, and God knows what's going to be the topic of conversation next week. And come on, Liverpool, tomorrow against Man United. Be good to yourselves. Get some sleep. Thank you, as always, for following me on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch. Turning out week after week. I really do appreciate it. Be good.